everyone, and welcome back to Amplify Agile, where we talk about all things agile. I'm your host, Tracy, and in today's episode, we're diving into strategic portfolio management, why it's a game changer for agile leaders and beyond. So, strategic portfolio management helps organizations bridge the gap between strategy and execution by aligning initiatives with business goals, optimizing resources, and ensuring continuous adaptability in our changing environment. And joining me today is Konstantin Popov, Vice President of Enterprise Technology, Strategic Portfolio Management, and Finance of Cprime, who will share his insights into how strategic portfolio management enables leaders to move beyond managing individual projects and focusing on driving enterprise-wide value. Konstantin will also explore how organizations can achieve better portfolio alignment, prioritize high-impact initiatives, and respond to disruptions while maintaining flexibility and focus. So together, we'll discuss actionable strategies to improve decision-making, strategic outcomes, and make sure organizations remain agile and competitive. And hey, Konstantin, welcome back to Amplify Agile. So can you please give us a quick introduction of yourself for those who are new?
Hi, Tracy. Thank you very much for having me. Absolutely. So in Cprime, I lead the enterprise technology, strategic portfolio, and financial services practice. It's a lot, but we're looking at how do we align service delivery to a very specific context. And the context in which we operate is all of our customers are going through two key transformative initiatives. It's adoption of the new ways of working, as well as adoption of the cloud. These two initiatives have a profound impact on an enterprise operating model because we are moving from cost center enterprise business architecture to a fixed capacity. And also on an infrastructure side, we are moving away from fixed assets in a data center to more of the variable consumption model. And it literally impacts every department within the organization, starting with your strategy, portfolio management, workforce management, finance and accounting, enterprise architecture management, engineering. So reality is, if you're going through these two initiatives, we shall be talking, and we should be able to give you a point of view for how to align these things that are happening in the trenches with your enterprise operating model as a whole.
That's a great introduction. So we're glad to have you back. And let's just start simple. What exactly is strategic portfolio management, and how is it different from traditional project or portfolio management?
Good question. So from my perspective, strategic portfolio management looks at a number of things. Number one, what is the customer and market demand? How do we align our enterprise strategic pillars or enterprise strategy around it? How do we then take a look at our portfolio of work and ensure that it aligns and supports these strategic imperatives? Also, how do we take a look at our workforce and make sure that we have resources and skill sets that are available today to deliver on our immediate commitments? What does it look like for tomorrow for us to be able to execute items on our product and initiative roadmaps? And maybe we aspire to be in quantum computing or some sort of AI capabilities maybe 2 years from now. Do we have the right roles and the composition of the skill set to be able to get this done? Also, we need to take a look at what does the enterprise architecture management looks like. Are we aligning our enterprise architecture business capabilities with the same strategy, and we build this early enough to be able to support these initiative and product roadmaps to ensure flow and continuous delivery of value to our customers? So it's the way that is different is portfolio management is usually concerned with the work, things that we do in teams and programs, and a strategic portfolio management actually aligns everything within the organization to ensure that we can achieve customer and enterprise value.
Yeah, it's so important to connect business strategy with execution, especially with the need for measurable value and kind of facilitating to the shift from projects to products. So with that in mind, let's further explore for someone that's leading an agile organization, what are the biggest benefits of adopting strategic portfolio management and shifting from project execution to delivering enterprise-wide strategic outcomes?
So usually in the space, we see that we partner with folks from the product management organization and the CFOs. We see that the role of the CFO within the organization is changing. They're becoming more of a shepherd of the enterprise and the customer value. And it means that they need to be able to manage that expense extremely well to reduce the total cost of ownership for the products and services that we're delivering to the market, while our product management organization is looking, hey, what are we delivering and why, but also what is the enterprise value, the top line contribution, which is profit. Every enterprise needs to be profitable in order to continue to provide superior products and services to our customers. So if we are continuously putting out millions of dollars worth of value into the market and we are delivering new features and capabilities that our customers are consuming, but our revenue is flat, like how long can we sustain this level of investment? So there needs to be a clear alignment, value at what cost. What are we providing? Is it opening up a new customer, downstream or upstream customer segment? Are we able to increase our price? Are we able to drive customer acquisition? And that's kind of a new paradox, right? Before we were always focusing on managing expense. In January of 2023, McKinsey did a study. 1% reduction in the operating expense contributes about 3 to 4% to the enterprise net operating profit, but 1% increase in price contributes about 6 to 8% to the net operating profit. So if we are successful helping our customers manage the total cost of ownership, basically expense effectively, and help them determine how to position their products and services, we can have a pretty significant contribution to the net operating profit.
Yeah, your insights really highlight how powerful strategic portfolio management can be. And it's really clear how important of a role that it plays. And I'm sure that this approach isn't without challenges. So I wanted to know, what are the most common misconceptions or challenges companies can face when implementing strategic portfolio management?
One of the biggest challenges that we see is around traditions. Traditions. We've done our current business architecture is based on a cost center model. Majority of our tooling and ERP processes is built around it. And companies have done extremely good job of being able to connect the enterprise strategy through planning, through execution and reporting and governance and controls to be able to run their businesses very effectively. But we have folks that get together at ski resorts and plan out Scrum frameworks and other things. And the management science does not stand still, right? There is always something else coming up. And in order for us to align our enterprise model to this new paradigm, we have to take a look at our ERP resource planning processes and tooling. Because we changed the way that we do work in the trenches, it's very difficult to start building the connectors using the existing systems to continue to be able to plan, execute, report on that work effectively. This is why we see that there is a best of breed for everything. Best of breed OKR tool, best of breed capitalization tool, best of breed product development tool. There's literally multiple SaaS products that just look at a sliver of the process. And in the name of innovation, a lot of our customers have been deploying these SaaS systems over the course of the last 15 years. And as a result, they have this massive ERP landscape that is not leveraging a consistent data model. It's not integrated. It's very difficult to make sense. And as a result, a lot of our customers went back to managing their business in spreadsheet, pivot tables, different Power BIs and Tableau reports, and it is not sustainable. So when you start to take a look at that and basically design the new operating model, create an integrated master data management view of what do we need in order to run our enterprise in areas of finance and accounting, workforce management, portfolio management, enterprise architecture, governance and controls. And we integrate these systems. We now start to get a real-time view that enables dynamic portfolio prioritization and continuous budgeting. It almost always require a technology stack refresh. Usually we see these initiatives as cost neutral because we help our customers decommission a lot of those best in breed and redundant systems. And through that alignment, we realize a lot of efficiencies. You no longer need an army of people crunching numbers. You get your stakeholders to this very consistent data-driven insight.
No, honestly, definitely overcoming those challenges that you mentioned, like processes and tech stack refreshes, are key, key hurdles to most organizations that they're going to need to navigate one way or another. And so building on that, let's just get into how strategic portfolio management helps leaders find the right balance. And so how does strategic portfolio management help balance agile flexibility with strategic oversight when making decisions about investments and resources?
Very good question. So I already spoke a little bit about helping organizations make sure that they have strategic pillars and then deploying the OKR frameworks to be able to connect that strategy to team level execution. Let's talk a little bit about the portfolio management practices. Our ability to create consistent intake process for everything within the organization, ability to manage that funnel, that intake, and create different workflows for product features, initiatives, epics, and ability to get them through a very specific approval process. Along the way, determining why are we doing this work, right? Who wants it, and who's going to benefit from this product or service being available in the market. And that's an important why we exist kind of statement. But how do we exist statement is that profit, right? So how do we start to create business value around customer and around enterprise value? Be able to document this and have very fit for purpose processes around business value realization. How are we measuring the impact of a product and services that we are putting out in the market, and how does that stack up against our original intent? And are we really getting the enterprise value? Are we really achieving that increased customer satisfaction, increased rate of customer acquisition, upstream, downstream segments, be able to satisfy their demand? And that would be the type of value that we are talking about. And again, one of the key stakeholders in this process is it's an emergent role of the CFO, right? The CFOs are moving more into the value management realm because they're managing the kind of the value at what cost. How can I pull the levers to reduce the expense associated with putting this product or service into the market? But then once I am there, what does it mean in terms of profit? So that's kind of my point of view.
Yeah, those points are really, they really illustrate how important strategic portfolio management kind of serves as a critical enabler. And so to bring this to life, could you share an example of how you've helped a customer or customers in general implement strategic portfolio management where it enabled agile and hybrid teams to kind of work in alignment and with organizational strategy, especially in a complex or scaling environments?
Some of the tangible outcomes we see that the customer gets about 20% improvement in cycle and velocity time, improving flow. On the product side, we see a 3 to 6 week reduction in the delivery of products, and about 25% of increase in realized spend according to their strategic initiatives and priorities. Um, it is a very powerful view when you are able to see who is working on what. But most importantly is we are building a view for our customers to be able to create fully constrained product and initiative roadmaps. We understand the constraints that exist and how these constraints are impacting these roadmaps. So if, let's say, we are dependent on hiring a team of people that will be helping us build a point of view on quantum computing. And, these are, there are very few people in the market who can do it. We consider them purple unicorns. And our recruiting team is, doing, their best looking for them. And we said, hey, we anticipate we're 120 days from hiring somebody like that. Well, 120 days have passed and we still have not been able to hire these people. So we can clearly articulate this work is not moving forward because we were not able to find the right resources. We may change our strategy. We may choose to partner with someone if we want to move this work forward. But so that's just one of the examples. Visualizing dependencies in between teams, visualizing dependency based on enterprise architecture capabilities. If something needs to be built at that foundational layer in order for our engagement layer to start building something, or it might be based on resources. So visualizing, creating this data-driven view of what can happen when and why is extremely helpful in helping with velocity. And another point that I wanted to make is just people, right? When we start to take a look who's working on what, let's say I have a team of extremely, the big four consulting companies working on one of my teams. And this team is consistently putting out OpEx work for 6 months. But they're very expensive. And clearly, since it's all OpEx, it's probably all business as usual work. Is that an appropriate allocation of this type of labor to this type of work? No. We might be able to put this work into a lower geography. We might be able to put it out for a managed service, right? Reducing, while we're continuing to deliver the work, we reduce the amount of expense associated with getting this work out into the market.
Yeah, those are really great examples, especially the metrics to really kind of showcase this approach. And so for those who are getting started with strategic portfolio management, what tools can they leverage to get started, and what are the core capabilities that they should be looking out for?
Very good question. So looking at the IBM Apptio ecosystem of tooling, right? Target process is a favorite among our customers for a number of reasons. Number one, it has a very flexible data model, and it has very robust integration capabilities. So in terms of the data model, there are two types of tools in the market. There are tools that come with a business process, highly inflexible, and there are tools like Target Process, which is flexible, and it's more of the white glove consultative approach to the implementation, and it resonates with a lot of our customers. In addition, Target Process provides native capabilities of managing OKRs, aligning them to work, and making that alignment of enterprise strategy to team level execution very real. It also gives you an opportunity to manage all of your labor within Target Process, be it employee or contingent. And labor financial management is another very big aspect of why customers choose the Target Process. We're able to categorize the work and the labor and come up with the monthly allocation of basically time management practices in terms of what is our contribution of labor months and close, employees and contractors, CapEx, OpEx, and being able to map them to a specific charge code and maybe a business application ID. It's very powerful. But as we've talked earlier, this portfolio management, strategic portfolio management, does not live in isolation. You need to be able to connect it to financials. And this is where Apptio comes in. And having the native connection and shared data model between Apptio One and Apptio Target Process is definitely one of the key attraction for our customers, right? It doesn't take long to set up. It's familiar data model. We understand how the both tool add value to that future operating model. So that is another aspect of this. And like a final triangle kind of piece of the triangle is your enterprise architecture management and ability to share the taxonomy of enterprise architecture business capabilities and taxonomy of business application and share that between Apptio 1 and target process now gives you an opportunity to join labor and infrastructure expenses seamlessly, which is getting you to a much faster view for a total cost of ownership and P&L, as well as just aligning your initiative and product roadmaps with the things that need to happen in your enterprise architecture management space.
No, those are great points. We love target process, and I think those are all really great ways to get started and great points highlighted. And so, last question for today. What role do you think strategic portfolio management will play in the future of hybrid agile organizations, especially with innovations like AI and predictive insights?
So, number one, I think it is not a question of if, it's a question of how quickly our customers can get to that strategic portfolio management view that we are talking about. And how quickly they can do it to survive, right? Companies can no longer operate their portfolio management, workforce management in silos, disconnected from the rest of the ERP processes and tooling. That's number one. We see a huge demand for AI in an area of enterprise operating model and ability to get additional insight, not necessarily through the product features, but deploying an agent-to-agent architecture and be able to start to interact with the system in a very different way. Every one of our customers is looking at AI capabilities and how we can use them in a workforce management, portfolio management, enterprise architecture, API management, finance. Every single one of our customers is looking at some sort of discovery, use case generation. They're looking for partnership in that space. So having a perspective with Watson X, it was really exciting to see all the demos around Watson X during the TBM conference. I think that combination of Watson X and an Apptio stack is going to be game changing in 2025, and I'm very excited for the TBM conference in 2025 to actually hear how some of our customers went from thinking about it to actually speaking and articulating how they have delivered the value from implementing those AI-based use cases.
Yeah, I was super excited to see that collaboration too. And so that was a really great note to end on. And that's all for today's episode of Amplify Agile. Thank you, Konstantin, for sharing your thoughts and stories with us. It was great having you back on the show, and we hope to see you in another episode. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in as well. If you'd like to hear about a topic or have any questions at all, feel free to pop them in the comments section and subscribe to Stay Agile. See you on the next episode.